Welcome in, guys. Happy Wednesday. Coming in off a winning Tuesday yesterday. 2-2 day, but you guys know how it is around these parts. Taking dogs. Rockies plus 205. That was for 1 unit, 2 units on Cincy. Those were the 2 winners. 2 losers we had. Houston couldn't pull it out for us. And then we went on Oakland plus 205 as well for 1 unit. Ended up a little bit in the green yesterday over a unit, and hopefully we can pick that up. Carry that on into this Wednesday card. Couple of bets out for members already, and I'm going to go ahead and dive through this Wednesday slate. As you guys know, no John on Wednesdays. Big prep day for NFL. Injury reports coming out all day. Lines moving like crazy. One bet already out for the Thursday card and for the NFL for the Thursday night football game. And looking at some other spots. Have some spots circled. Some lines we're watching. Some injury reports we're looking for Sunday bets in the NFL. 19-5-1 start to the NFL season. You guys don't want to miss any of those bets. Make sure you guys sign up on the app or the website. Pretty good baseball card coming up. Let's go ahead and dive right on into it. First game, we have Pirates and the Phillies. Phillies get it done yesterday. They clinch a playoff spot, and they're pretty much clinching to the top spot of the wild card as well. If they lose out, there's a chance they fall a little bit to the second spot, but it doesn't look like that'll be the case here. So Phillies, they celebrated last night. I don't know if you guys saw the video of Brandon Marsh riding the pole. Crazy shit going on. They celebrated those, so that's definitely an angle. Definitely a letdown spot here for the Phillies today. Oviedo versus Suarez. Suarez gave up 4 runs his last time out. Prior to that, a pair of quality starts. Did have 6 shutout innings at Pitt last season. And then Oviedo, his last 2 starts, just 1 run in 11 innings, but 12 Ks, 10 walks. So K-walk ratio, bit of a concern. But again, like I said, spots all Pirates in this one. Definitely a little bit of a letdown here for the Phillies. After clinching last night and then coming into this one. Phillies red hot, though. They've won 6 straight. Pirates have now dropped the last 2. We'll see what goes on in this one. Would be Pirates or nobody. Then we get the Marlins at the Mets, and this is going to be a doubleheader. Yesterday got rained out. In game 1, same pitching matchup. I leaned Marlins yesterday. I'm leaning Marlins again here in game 1. Garrett versus Lucchesi. Garrett, like we talked about yesterday, just since August, lights out, 4-2, 2.36 ERA. Last 2 starts, only 1 unearned run in 12 innings, 14 Ks, 2 walks. Really good against the Mets. Really good again on the road. Lucchesi's been solid as well. 2 earned in 12 2/3 his last 2 starts. Going to give the pitching edge to Garrett in this one. Mets have had success in the matchup. We'll see how much damage they take care of today. But this is a Marlins team in this wild card race needing wins. So, again, Miami or nothing. Then we have the Cubs at the Braves. Did you guys see that game last night? I was on the Cubs. John didn't send that bet out, and luckily so. He said he didn't want Steele, and I ended up eating my ass on that one. I mean, that was just brutal. Cubs at the Braves. Cubs 6-0 lead. Braves inching back. And then Suzuki, the brutal air, just dropped it. So as far as playoff stands and everything else, currently now they're a half game back of the Marlins in that wild card race. Braves, they won 4 or 5. These are really must-win games for the Cubs, and it's tough when you blow a game on an air like that. It's going to be Tejon versus Vines. Tejon, last 3 starts, solid. 1.58 ERA, 2 of them quality starts, 6 shutout innings versus the Rockies his last time out. And Vines is going to be making just his second start. Did give up 3 runs and 3 1/3 in relief at Washington on Friday. Pitching edge goes to Tejon. Team edge obviously goes to the best team in baseball, the Atlanta Braves. Tough way to blow that yesterday. Tough way to blow that. Do the Cubs show up today? Do they get back up? Tough on those tough losses. It's always a question of, do they show up? We saw that with Cincinnati, right? To blow the 9-0 loss on Pittsburgh on Saturday, to come back and to get the win on Sunday. Those are tough spots, especially at this point in the season when each game matters. Can you bounce back the next day? Still, Cubs are nothing in this spot. Just really tough after that game yesterday. Personally, staying away. Then you have the Cardinals at the Brewers, and this is another one of those teams that celebrated last night. Milwaukee, they didn't get the win, but the Cubbies with the loss clinched the division for the Brewers in the Central. Meanwhile, St. Louis, they did look decent. Pitching showed up yesterday. Mikolas, it was supposed to be Thompson yesterday. He gets scratched. Mikolas goes, and he was great. Great quality start there for St. Louis. They pull out the win. Thompson versus Miley today. Thompson's supposed to go yesterday. 2-2, 5.73 and 4 September starts. Has been worse on the road. And then Miley, last 2 starts, solid 2-0, 2.31. Is coming off 6 shutout innings versus the Cardinals. Again, just spots all St. Louis here. Brewers just clinched the division. They celebrated. They're coasting down the stretch at this point. Can't go anywhere as far as, rankings for the playoffs, who they play, home edge, anything else. This would be Cardinals or nobody, just based on the fact you got a Brewers team coming off a night of drinking and celebrating. Then we have the Dodgers at the Rockies. They split the doubleheader yesterday. Rockies take game one. That was the winner we had. Dodgers come back, kill them game two. And Dodgers have now won, 9 of the last 11 meetings this season. It's going to be Sheehan versus Davis. Davis just been brutal. They lost all 5 of his starts. In the last, 3 runs in 5 innings at Wrigley. Faced the Dodgers in relief. Brutal. Only 3 outings in Coors. 0-1, 20.57 ERA. 20.57 ERA. So that is just absolutely brutal. Would be a pitching edge to Sheehan, who's been going pretty solid. Last 2 outings when they want to start, 1 run, 1 hit in 7 2/3. He gets the pitching edge. Dodgers definitely get the team edge, but just an overlay. Can't make the price this high. So will be Rockies or nobody here. It's tough to back them this time of year. It's tough to back the Dodgers this time of year, but it's tough to go against the Dodgers anytime. Would be Rockies or nobody, just in the you're not getting a pitching edge there, nothing else, just quite frankly an overlay of a price. A Dodgers team that might be looking on to the playoffs. You had Mookie Betts, who sat out the second game of the doubleheader. Freddie Freeman played both games. Does he get the night off tonight? So something to be looking for in that game. Who's in, who's out. Definitely down the stretch of this week, expect the Dodgers players to start getting some rest, and we'll see how much they get. Then we have the Padres at the Giants. Padres, a nice good old blank 4-zip last night. Lugo, solid outing. They lead the season series 7-5. Padres is 2-2 since the 9-game win streak. And the Giants, 2-9 their last 11, but they are 9-3 their last 12 home games. Take that for what you will. Waldron versus Minaya. Waldron, knuckleballer, been solid. Last 2 starts, 3 runs, 11 innings, 14 Ks, 3 walks. Granted, a little bit of worse competition. And how about Minaya coming off a quality start against the Dodgers? 3 hits, 7 shutout innings. That's the best he's looked since his Oakland days. And then 3 outings versus the Padres this year, 7+ ERA. Granted, one of those was in Mexico. I'm going to give Minaya the pitching edge. I mean, he used to be a stud back in Oakland. And when San Diego got him, he wasn't that. San Francisco acquires him. He wasn't that. Waiting to see if he gets back to that, perhaps. And obviously, I'm not going to overreact to just one start. But as far as right now, I'm going to give him the pitching edge. He looked like he did last year. You could argue it's a letdown start. We talk about letdown spots for teams oftentimes. Definitely a letdown start. You go to Dodger Stadium, you throw 7 shutout innings. Little bit of a letdown opportunity as a pitcher as well. Then we have Rays at Boston. Couple of aces going at it in this one. Glasnow versus Bayo. Rays, they jump out to a big 7-0 lead yesterday. Boston, just like Atlanta, scratched back. Couldn't get all the way back, but from 7-0 to a 9-7 loss, definitely a bit more competitive. Tampa just owns this matchup. 10-12 meetings so far this season, 4-5 at Boston. Diaz and Herrera's Arena didn't play yesterday. They've been getting their rest. We'll see what happens here. They're still 2.5 games back of the O's in the in the East. So we'll see if they can catch them. It would really take Baltimore falling apart, total collapse. And obviously they won last night. So I don't see that happening, but we shall see. Boston 4-15, their last 19. Could only want Tampa Bay here. Even if Diaz and Herrera's Arena are out, offense didn't miss a beat last night. Boston just horrendous right now. Basically, since their season has been terminated out of the wild card race, they have just had no life whatsoever. So we'll see if they bounce back at any means. But again, Tampa Bay are nothing there. Still a little bit to play for, even if they're not playing all their guys. Then we have a gross AL Central matchup. Tigers and Kansas City. Tigers get the win last night. They've won 3 of 4 meetings in Detroit this season. KC snaps a 6-game win streak. Still 10-2 their last 12. Playing great baseball right now. And Tigers 4-2 their last 6. And just 33-43 at home. Above 500 on the road. Pretty crazy there. Let's talk about Skewball going today. We saw Olsen going last night. Another solid start for him. Skewball 4-0, 1.04 in September. Last 7 shutout innings and a win at Oakland. And if you look at those 4 starts that Skewball's had, it's been against lesser opponents. The White Sox twice, the A's and the Angels, facing some bottom tier teams at this part of the year. but that's Kansas City. So it's not like he's going to change up the strength of competition in this start. 4-0, 1.04. Meanwhile, Bolin going to be making his debut, 5.91 ERA in the minors between AA and AAA. It's massive pitching edge here for Skubal. It's Tigers or nothing in this spot. Not looking to lay a big favorite with Detroit. And Kansas City's been playing some decent baseball. So would be Tigers or nothing. But again, not one I'm jumping out of. Can't argue laying that price much more than the pitching edge. Let's get into another great pitching matchup in the AL East today. I already mentioned Glasnow versus Bayo. A couple of pitchers who've been going well. Cole versus Berrios in this one. How about two pitchers going great? Yankees, they've won his last 6 starts for Cole. 5 of them quality starts, 4-0, 1.59 ERA in that span. Last time out, 1 run, 8 innings, 9 Ks, 0 walks against Toronto, and he's owned the Jays this year. 3 starts, 1-0, 0.46 ERA. My goodness. Trying to close out a little Cy Young run here. And then you have Berrios going, who gave up 4 runs in 5 2/3 versus the Yanks. Prior to that was going great, 2-0, 1.80, 3 straight quality starts. And in last 6 starts versus the Yankees, 1-4, 5.45 ERA. So Berrios struggling here against the Yankees over the last couple of seasons. Cole dominating the Jays, trying to close out a Cy Young race. And you're getting the Yankees and Cole at plus money. Judge didn't play last night. Wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't play again today, but nonetheless, give me the Cy Young pitcher at plus money. Toronto, pretty much locked in the wild card. They would really have to have a full collapse. But with Seattle winning last night, Texas losing last night, you have some of these, races coming a bit closer there in the AL West. We'll see what happens. Either way, Yankees are nothing here in this matchup, and just can't go against Cole as a favorite. I can't. I don't care who the Yankees have in the lineup. Cole deserves to be at minimum a PK. If you're getting plus money, don't overthink it. Then you have the A's at Minnesota. Estes versus Lopez. Estes roughed up in his debut. 6 runs, 5 earned, and 3 homers. That was in 4 2/3 versus Seattle. Lopez, he had a really dominant stretch in July and August. Isn't quite back to that. 2-2, 3.19 ERA. But hey, 4 of his last 5 starts are quality starts. Last time out, 3 runs in 6 innings versus the Angels. Twins, they crushed them yesterday, 11-3. Oakland playing horrible baseball right now. What is it now? 2-8 their last 10. So it's a bad A's team. We backed this bad A's team. Why? Because the Twins are in a spot, no man's land. They're not catching anybody. Nobody's catching them. They're going to the playoffs. Thought you might be able to get something there with Blackburn last night. We didn't. You got absolutely smoked. No interest in backing Estes. Horrible in his debut. Massive pitching edge for Lopez today. Although the number is ridiculous, can't get myself to get on this A's team today. Then we have the Rangers at the Angels. Rangers can't get it done last night. Angels even up the series with a 9-3 win. Snap Rangers 6-game win streak. Then you have this Angels team 3-4 since their 6-game losing streak. But hey, 3-10 their last 13. They're not playing good baseball. Dunning versus Canning today. Dunning, he was roughed up his last time out. Prior to that, 5 shutout innings at Cleveland. And Canning, they lost his last 5 starts. Last 2, 6 runs and 11 innings. Tampa Bay versus Detroit, and was roughed up by Texas earlier this year. Dunning's a weird pitcher to get a read on betting-wise. Earlier this year, lights out, absolutely lights out at one point. But you guys must have heard John and I, if you were tuning in with us, throughout the MLB season, time and time again, Dunning and Gray, even Eovaldi, they were not the pitchers they were pitching like in May, June, and some of July. They just weren't. It was career years for all 3 of those guys. And then we've seen the drop-off from all 3 of those guys. What's going to get here down the stretch? Can any of those pitchers tap back into what they were at the start of the year? We'll see. I'm still going to give Dunning the slight pitching edge here, just nothing too drastic. He's fallen a bit back to norm. And as far as Canning, they lost his last 5 starts. Texas team that needs wins, trying to hold on to this top spot in the AL West. Can't make an argument here to back the Angels today, other than the fact that the price is an overlay, because the Rangers need these wins. So Texas or nobody, not getting involved in that dance. Then the other AL West matchup, really a terrific matchup, terrific series. Mariners and Houston. Mariners get the win last night, evens up the series. They have now won 9 of 12 meetings this year. I mean, Seattle, my goodness, taking care of business. Houston, they dropped 4-5, 4-10 their last 14. Seattle snaps the 4-game losing streak. Pitching matchup. You got an ace in Valdez versus Miller. And I use that term ace with Valdez loosely. We used to call him Mr. Consistent, Mr. Quality Start. Hasn't been Mr. Consistent this season. Last time out, 7 runs, 6 earned, 5 1/3, and a loss to Kansas City. Can't be losing to Kansas City this time of year. Prior to that, though, did have 3 straight quality starts. Has been a bit brutal versus Seattle. 0-1, 6.55 ERA. Gave up 6 runs in 5 innings in the 1 start in Seattle. Then you have Miller going, and they've lost all 4 of his September starts. 0-2, 5.49 ERA. Here's the catch with Miller, though. Catch those numbers up against the Astros. 2 starts, 12.1 shutout innings, and a pair of wins there, and he's better at home. So you got a pitcher struggles on the road, pitcher's better at home. Good matchup history for Miller, bad matchup history for Valdez. This is Seattle or nobody. It was on Houston first 2 games of the series, getting dog money, split on those bad boys, and now you're getting Seattle at dog money. If Valdez has a pitching edge, it's ever so slightly based on who he is capable of being and who he was previously, but not who he is right now. And you can make the same argument for Miller. I mean, Miller's not going great right now, 5+ ERA, but the history's there. The good success against Houston is there. The pitching at home with success is there. So great series, great matchup. Not betting on this one today, but Seattle or nobody for me in this matchup. And just as a baseball fan, the way these wild card races and the division races coming down to the wire, fascinating. Excited for that one just as a fan alone. Then we have D-backs at the White Sox. Gross pitching matchup. High-scoring game last night. D-backs crushed them 15-4. Starting to get a little bit of separation in the wild card race now with the Cubs lost yesterday. Miami not playing. They're now second wild card spot, holding on to Arizona. Arizona just 2-2 on this trip so far after the 5-game win streak, but hey, 7-2 their last 9, and White Sox dropping 4 of 6. Let's look at this pitching matchup. Fat versus Toussaint. Fat last time out, 6 runs, 5 earned, and 4 1/3 versus the Yanks through 5.1 shutout innings before that. Toussaint been solid. 2 runs and 11 1/3 versus the Red Sox and the Twins his last 2 times out. Gross pitching matchup. D-backs bats are hot. White Sox taking care of business a little bit with the sticks. Give me the over in this one. And totals are a weird read this time of year just because, which teams want it, which teams are saving their better bullpen arms. So much of, the later innings become such drastic variables. It's hard to get a true read. But I think this one's a good one to look at the over in this matchup. We'll see if that continues, if the bats continue to stay hot here for the D-backs, scoring almost 7 runs a game on this trip right now. Then we have the Reds and the Guardians. Battle of Ohio. Cincinnati gets it done for us yesterday. What a shootout that was. 3-0 Cleveland, 4-3 Cincy, 6-4 Cleveland, 7-6 Cincy. It was just back and forth, back and forth. That's great baseball this time of year. Abbott versus Bieber today. Abbott, brutal since the back end of July. 2-3, 6.15 ERA with only 1 quality start. In the last 3 starts, 10 runs in 12 innings. A little bit rough there for Abbott. Then you have Bieber going, comes back from the IL, gave up 5 runs, 4 earned in 5 innings, only playing the second best team in baseball, the Baltimore Orioles. Did have a start against the Reds last year. Decent. 3 runs in 5 1/3. So this is a Reds team still very much so in this wild card race. 1.5 games back of that final spot right now. Miami in a doubleheader today. Miami gets swept. Who knows? The Cubbies playing Atlanta. So they have a chance to jump those 2 teams, Miami and Chicago. Cubbies lose to Atlanta. Miami has trouble in the doubleheader. Chance here for the Reds to make a big jump. That is the only reason to look at it. Sure, you can give Abbott the pitching edge just based on the fact Bieber's been on the IL, but Bieber is the better pitcher. So what Bieber do we get in this game? How close to being back to form is he? All those questions there. Cincy or nobody, though. Give me the Reds here in a spot. Looking to make a jump in this wild card race. We'll see if they can pull that off. And then last game on the card, that is this best team in the AL, the Baltimore Orioles, hosting the Nationals. Always get it done last night with a 1-0 win. They have now won 9 of the last 10 meetings, all 3 this season. Corbin versus Rodriguez. Corbin, a little bit brutal here in September, but it's been 2 bad starts, 2 good starts. Last time out, 5 runs in 4 innings against the Braves. Prior to that, 2 quality starts. And 2 starts versus the O's, gave up 4 runs in 10 innings. And then you have Rodriguez going, who's been solid. 2-1, 2.31 in September. Last 2 starts, 2 runs, 13 innings, 14 Ks, 3 walks. And that was another situation. We talked about a pitcher maybe having a bit of a letdown after the start against Tampa Bay, where he killed it. Came back 5 runs, 2 runs, 5 innings. So decent bounce back start there, all considered. And this is a massive price here for Baltimore. I actually lean Washington in this one. Corbin's been decent. Maybe they steal one, but this is Orioles trying to clinch up the division. They want to rest their guys down the stretch, and they match up ownership as well, 9-10. So big number on this game. Corbin's been very serviceable. Leads the Nats in quality starts. Maybe he pulls one here, and maybe it's worth a look at the under in this matchup. Saw it yesterday, low scoring. Pretty good pitching matchup, I'll consider going today. Corbin's very hit or miss, so if he's on, you have a good chance of that under. And that is this baseball card rather quickly. Sorry if I ran through that too fast. I know I saw a comment last Wednesday after I did it by myself that I talk fast, so I apologize. And hopefully you guys were able to pick up on some of that information. As always, though, if you guys didn't catch everything, you guys know where to go to get it all. howtobeatthebookie.com or download the How to Beat the Bookie app. My man John will be back with me tomorrow. We got a Thursday night football game we'll break down. We got some baseball games going on tomorrow as well. And then on Friday, I'll be back with some college football action. Got going a little bit in the college football bets this weekend. 3-1 now on the college football Friday free bets. And we hit a 5-unit banger with Utah over the weekend. Give me the Utah Utes. Big fan of the Utes. And I got some more news about the Utes coming in on Friday, so make sure you guys check that out. Appreciate you tuning in. Wish you guys the best of luck on this card, and let's make some damn money, huh?